We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5.
Can you hear it?
Welcome, everyone.
Yes.
We are back, and we're back with headphones on.
Yep.
We tried the no headphones thing for a couple weeks. It was going very well.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a new friend with us today.
Yeah.
We put Baby Yoda to sleep.
We sacrificed Baby Yoda to get the Rode Procaster.
The Rode Procaster?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rode Procrastinator.
Procrastinator. So we're trying out this new toy for the podcast to try to, kind of set us aside from the rest of the gang. Try to put some more fun and more flair into the podcast episodes.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to build in some noises. We currently have some stock noises, and I'm a real big fan of this one. Hopefully we don't get flagged on YouTube for it.
This is Jay in the Morning in the mix with Ronnie Flonnie.
It's Ronnie, Flonnie, and Chet Michaels.
I kind of like it, though.
I love it. So we have a couple stock sounds here that we're playing around with. We have the applause. We have the womp womp sound, which we'll probably hear a lot of. We have that one.
What I like about this whole setup is that, the sound quality is very, very nice.
These sounds sound so crispy. That's when we make a bad joke and
I know.
Gets it.
We're like, awkward.
And that one's when we say some gay shit to each other.
Right? I like it. Bromance at 1,000.
Anyway, welcome to episode, what is this, 38 now?
38.
38 of the Terrible Reception radio show / podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jay Suarez, Luis Joel Suarez, if I'm in trouble.
The third.
Luis Suarez the third.
Oh, okay.
And Joel, if I'm in trouble. And you can find me at JetPlaneJ on all social media platforms. And like I always say, JetPlane Suarez on Xbox if you want to get down.
And that's why we need the jet plane sound every time that you say that.
Yeah, we need that. In the meantime, we'll do this.
Perfect. And I'm your other host, Parlay, a.k.a. Trap Jesus, coming down from the magical clouds of
Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't already, tune into YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a rating. What do they do on YouTube now? Leave a review.
Hateration. They leave it a lot of comments.
Like, subscribe, turn on that bell notification, leave a comment, leave something. I don't care what it is. Put a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave a review, leave a rating. That way it boosts us up in the ratings. And also Spotify podcasts.
Yes.
If Spotify is your choice of media streaming platform, go right ahead and follow us on there, and you will get a notification every time we drop an episode. And like I said, if one platform is not your preference to the other, just jump onto the other and follow us.
Yes, because we are Benatton. And we're just doing this because we can do this.
We're doing it just
because they're not gonna flag us. You know what I'm saying?
No, I can't.
We're seen as the sunlight.
Hey.
Even for the one night. Set the tone
That comes in pretty nice for Bluetooth. What do you think?
Lower it a little bit.
I don't know. It just sounds pretty
Play
cool.
it in the background.
Oh yeah.
So this is like shameless plug. We're gonna play our music in the background.
In the background.
Yep. So we're just gonna put Benatton on shuffle
while you listen to us.
While you listen to us. So this is kind of like radio writing down the highway type music when you're talking to your passenger.
Yeah.
And just playing background music.
And hopefully they're not captive and that they weren't forcefully put into the car.
Let's hope not.
And that they chose to ride with you.
Oh man. Okay. That was a long enough intro. But we'll keep on playing to see if you guys like it or not. We're gonna continue putting in and taking out sounds as we go by and as we get comfortable with these pads and the little Rode Procaster.
Yeah.
Procaster. As we get comfortable with this, we're going to start playing around with it a little more. So the beauty of this is if ever want to play audio from the phone, whether it's video, music, or anybody that's calling in to talk to us, we can connect via Bluetooth or USB, right?
Yeah. USB. So it's going to be a lot more interactive podcasts, really set up like a pro, radio station. So I was talking to Steven. He was like, hey, I have the Rode Procaster as well. I was like, hey, that's awesome.
Steven Cuoco?
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Steven Cuoco. Oh, speaking of which, we forgot to say we are still playing on Power 98.5
Radio.
We got so rusty with our intros.
I know.
As we,
we get it.
New things.
We get a little excited sometimes, but
yeah.
But then we transition to it, and then
we do it a couple weeks in a row, and we get. Now the music is distracting me. Hold on.
We create.
It's like the song is ending. No, I want to keep on playing it.
It's like you want to listen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want to listen and I want to talk at the same time.
Gotcha.
And I can't. My brain can't do both.
Gotcha.
But I guess we could jump right into the first segment. The first segment is signal check. We're gonna get a sound in here for signal check. But in the meantime, we're gonna do this one because it's my favorite one.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now listening to Signal Check on the Terrible Reception Podcast.
What's the name that you put first?
Huh?
This is Chet Michaels and
Bernard Wilson.
Bernard Wilson, because the other one's on vacation.
All we do is eat corn on the cob and eat corn on the cob and drink whiskey. I'm sorry.
What the fuck is wrong with us? Anyway, signal check is where we check in with each other every week, mental health-wise in general. And
we've gone insane. That's all I know.
I think we've gone over the edge, but you can start it off this week.
I did my second visit to Montclair Massage Therapy Center. And again, phenomenal work, pinpoint therapy on the body. I feel even better than before. This week I got a couple of jobs done in the sense we were on call for a good friend Thakur from high school. His wife, Haneen, he just got married recently and we were honored to do the photos for him. It wasn't like the turnout that he was initially going to have, but I think it was more special. It was more quality over quantity, and I think that wedding should be like that.
More intimate.
More intimate for sure. Beautiful family, beautiful wife, beautiful guy. Beautiful food. Everything together was beautiful. Congratulations if you're listening to this podcast episode. Oh my God.
Sorry, hold on. Fuck.
There we go.
That one applies, but I was looking for not that one either. Fuck. God damn it. There it is.
Oh, okay. Jay's going to get used to these buttons because Jay's going to be the triggerer of these buttons. So
yellow means happy.
I'm like watching levels. It's like my audio engineering intuition, but Jay's going to be the trigger guy.
So yellow means happy. Do it again.
Once again, Thakur and Haneen.
Say congratulations.
Congratulations on getting married. There you go. Jay and I were honored again to shoot your wedding. It was a great time.
Hot as balls.
Very hot.
Yeah. I'm
kind of glad that we didn't have this summer to do all the weddings because, I don't know, it's a hot summer.
Hot boy summer.
It's a hot boy summer. All in all, I've had a great week. Nothing really to complain about. I did feel it was weird. Like, I don't know, like I felt a little down yesterday. It was just like an intuition thing because I think that I've been seeing way too much bad shit on social media and I want to take a break. You know what I'm saying? It's just constant. I don't know. It makes you feel lethargic.
Social media cleanse?
Yeah, just a little bit, you know?
What advice would you give somebody that's feeling overwhelmed?
I don't know. Like my key thing is it's always going against the wave. You know what I'm saying? Where people I don't know. I feel like a lot of politics, a lot of things are making people aggressive. So you feel that aggression in the street. You feel it when people are driving. You feel it when people walk past you. I think we have to go. The thing that we could learn from the old school is like say hello, smile more. Just say like hope you're having a great day when you're picking up food or something from somebody. Like show a little more sympathy, show a little more humanity. And I think like the world, like it's like when somebody says good morning back, changes your whole day. You know what I'm saying? So like try to amongst the chaos, still like stay positive. You know what I'm saying? I know it's hard. I think that's the challenge. It's like you get caught up like somebody doesn't say hello back and you're like, fuck it, I'm never gonna say hello again. And it's like, no.
It's like that clip from Coming to America.
Yeah.
Where he goes, good morning, beautiful people. And then somebody goes, fuck you. He goes, yes, fuck you too.
That's New York in like
in a nutshell, pretty much.
In a nutshell, yeah.
But so somebody that sees all this chaos going on social media, because everybody I feel like is in social media overload because everybody's home. A lot of people are working from home, spending a lot of time at home on their phones. What would you recommend to somebody that says, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm seeing too much. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing that. It's pissing me off. I'm doing this. I'm doing that.
My grandfather gave me the best advice before he passed. And he said, you find the answers in silence. Sometimes you just have to shut down. And silence doesn't completely mean put yourself in a soundproof room. You know what I'm saying? It's more like...
That would make you go crazy, no?
That would make you go crazy. So you don't want complete...
I was going to say, I heard about that completely soundproof room.
Yeah, I think it's in
hear your heartbeat.
Mississippi or something like that. It's in one of like... I don't know. It's like in some audio space that they made it like completely soundproof, but 13 minutes over, people start going insane.
Yeah,
so
apparently people can't go in there for a long time. So.
Yeah, but I would say like, you know what I enjoyed during this whole pandemic is there is a local garden right in the back of my apartment, and I go there right around sunset or sometimes in the afternoon, and like you hear the birds chirping, you see flowers. You get more in tune with nature, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if everybody listening maybe sometimes go on a hike, sweat it out a little bit. Like, a lot of times we're like in our houses with the AC, with the phone in our hand most of the day, getting all this artificial distraction, artificial, I don't know, comfort, when we should kind of get back in tune with nature. Like, put your feet on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, we need that. We're still human. We're not 100% bionic yet. So
yet.
Yeah.
That's kind of the answer I was looking for, and you kept dancing around it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it?
I would say so. Yeah. Just like, you know,
checking out.
Yeah. Like I would say chill with some friends. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was your last day, like, if somebody told you, hey, like tomorrow, like you're probably going to catch COVID, like make the best out of your situation, you know, safely. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like call somebody, tell them like you love them. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not really feeling it, like activate something that like catches a positive vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like just like, hey, like how you been? Like, how are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You don't always have to be check in on someone else. Show love give love the way you want to receive love, and then love starts to flourish.
Amen.
That's positive.
Okay. Well, for me, I had a decent week, pretty busy. Like you said, we were working on photo edits. So for 2 days, I think, went through over 2,000 photos that we took that day at that wedding.
Yeah.
Was able to narrow it down to 350 something.
I think I saw 355.
Yeah. So I was able to narrow it down to 350 something. And I was also working on edits for this other wedding. This gentleman named Xavier.
I saw your color game. It was nice on those.
You like that shit, huh?
But I didn't think you were saying the photographer was like horrible. I didn't think it was horrible.
His shooting was okay.
Yeah.
his editing was horrible.
Gotcha.
Did you see the photos towards the end?
I didn't want to touch it and say, hey, revert back to original color. But
If you look towards the end, you can tell he has no idea what shutter speed is.
gotcha.
I don't know if that's his thing. At the end of the day, he's
A lot
like,
of-
I want to
no.
see these lights going crazy. Maybe it'll work. No, it looked horrible.
Damn.
I understand maybe for 1 or 2 pictures, you see like a light going in. It'll be a cool little effect. But it was literally every single photo from the dancing scenes, like after the reception where everybody's getting lit and whatever. Lighting is horrible. The adjustments on the camera, horrendous. And for somebody like me that isn't like on top of my game with like the settings and shit, I can tell shutter speed really fucking low. It just looked really bad. Like those pictures were unsalvageable.
Damn.
Like everything else was okay because it was just like an exposure issue.
Did they tell you how much they paid for it?
No, I would never ask anybody that. But
Yeah.
my issue with it was none of the photos were touched. So it's like everybody was super pale. Like even the people with some pigment to them, like this was a Dominican.
What, he shot it in like a
Dominican way.
flat color space, a negative
It
one?
seemed like it. I don't know. I don't know what it was. They were all JPEGs. I don't know if he shot them straight JPEG or whatever, but
It was probably like he put like a flat profile on it or something
it
like that.
was really bad. Because for most of the photos, all I really did was turn down the highlights extremely to like I'll show you before and after photos. here.
Gotcha. First of all, I never thought I would say this.
Mhm.
God damn it, Adobe. You actually made us come out of pocket.
Whoa.
Not like that. Made us come out of pocket.
No.
No. Hey.
Come out of pocket.
But
Before you go on to that, look at this.
Okay.
Before and after.
oh wow.
Literally.
Wait, the suits were supposed to be that blue?
The suits are blue.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Look how dark they are here.
That's crazy. And what was he shooting? Canon, Sony? Do you
I
know?
have no idea.
Doesn't say in the file.
I didn't check.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy.
Literally, like the smallest little thing. Look, turn up the highlight.
You know what?
Turn down the highlights. Turn up the shadows. Turn up the saturation. Boom.
You know what I'm going to tell you is that it's 2020, right? As much as it's been fucking insane, we have incredible technology out here, right? And I was telling people, if you're messing up with the cameras that you have now, you suck at what you do. I'm sorry. I have no apologies. It's like you suck at what you do. There are incredible cameras, even in like automatic mode. It's kind of like foolproof, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are shooting in manual as a photographer, a professional photographer, because you have to be considered a professional photographer to shoot a wedding like that unless they got a friend to do it. But it looks like he kind of invested in his lenses or whatever the case may be. I know there's a lot of people out here, they just buy what other people buy because it looks good, but they have no clue about their lane, about photography, about exposure, about,
Even the choice of lenses were sketchy too. It was, I don't know. Overall, it was just weird. It was like
Listen.
even like cropping, there was like no cropping. I cropped this and turned up the colors a little bit.
Well, that's another thing. I don't feel like everybody has an eye for composition.
Look.
You know, like,
Look how flat that looks compared to this.
because you have to add contrast to add depth,
That's it.
right? Because you're not even getting the most out of your lens. So, like, I don't know if that person even has a kit lens or whatever the case may be, but like some people would just buy an 85 millimeter because they know like the compression looks good and they can blow out the background. They're like, oh yeah, I know, I'm a photographer now. It's like, no, you're not. It's like,
I'm a photographer now. Look, if you look at this picture, you'll see all the dresses look white, right?
yeah,
You can see the separation in the pinks, right?
exactly.
And the pigments.
That's way overexposed, by the way.
Right. Look at this. So
You know what it
simple.
is? You know what it is? First of all, he didn't compensate for the exposure by bringing any type of flash
At all.
at all. So he was just shooting manual, and the thing that he was probably doing because maybe like his f-stop was at 1.4 and then the shutter speed, for some reason, he didn't turn it up to compensate.
Mm-hmm. Even something like this, look. See how white the suit is?
Mhm.
It gets lost in the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Turn up the contrast, turn up the blues a little bit,
Yeah.
separation.
And you did this with a JPEG, so I can
With
only
all the
imagine if you
JPEGs.
had the raw
Mm-hmm.
with like all the information inside of it.
So simple. Turn up the saturation, turn up the shadows a little bit.
If you're a photographer Or if you are the person hiring a photographer for your wedding, please, like, sit down with the photographers, okay? We meet with a lot of the couples that we shoot for, and they want to get to know the photographer. Like, even do like a test shoot with them, because a lot of these people take pictures off the internet, or they take their friends' pictures that they shot for another wedding. And I'm telling you, they are promoting lies to you. They're just trying to get into your pockets, because they know sometimes if they hit you with a contract where they're not giving you the money back, you will get screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want that. This is a once in a lifetime situation. Stop trying to get a deal and try to get something. Pay for a professional, okay? Look up for the best of the best. Get recommendations of somebody that you know that it was very happy with their photography for their wedding.
Because you'll end up paying extra for somebody like myself to try to salvage some of your photos.
Exactly. So whatever, you could have paid it all in one.
So, I mean, I don't want to... I was going to say I don't want to bash the photographer, but I already did.
Sorry.
I'm not going to put his name out there, but shout out to him, my boy, for hiring me to fix those photos. It was my pleasure to go through those photos and save those for you. He said that he really loved what I did with them. So mission accomplished. So I spent most of my day yesterday doing that. I finished them today. Then I touched up a couple of them, of hers in particular, of the bride. Just a couple things that was like a hair like sticking out to the face. It's like, I don't understand how anybody would hand anybody like product like this.
Because for me, it's like I always hear the tragic stories from weddings.
And it's sad because it's like,
I don't want to believe them, but you know what I'm saying?
it happens, man. But I spent most of my week doing that. And then Tuesday, I believe, we got into a little tiff because I was super overwhelmed.
Yes.
I had a lot going on Tuesday, just trying to get everything for tax season, and then work, and then these photos, and then just a whole bunch of shit. And
that wasn't a good day.
No, that was like the only hiccup of the week, I think.
Yeah.
The rest of the week was kind of just work.
Jay and I had a very heated discussion. We were trying to get taxes done. This is like our first time as a business trying to get taxes done. And basically, shit got out of hand.
I mean, it wasn't a heated discussion. It was more of I got snippy because I was feeling weird. I got snappy. I'll say that.
Snappy turtle.
Because there was just a lot going on. I'm
Yeah.
not making any excuses for it. It just happened.
That day I was just so fatigued by the end of the day because I was trying to get my personal taxes done, which I did. I had to mail them in. Remember I told you I think somebody's... Hold on. Okay, there we go. Yellow's happy. So like basically, like at the end of my process, right, I was doing TurboTax. And they said, from all the purchases I made for the business, I didn't owe taxes.
That was perfect for this one.
But it was saying that somebody else had your social security number.
Oh, shit. Hold on.
It's no. Green. There we go. So I was like, damn it. I just today was so stressed. Like me and Jay were going back and forth. And then after that, I was trying to get my taxes done. I wrote everything down that we own to have it right off. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end, I get that thing that says somebody else might have your social security number because somebody filed already. And I said, what? But I called TurboTax the next day, and this is where the relief came because I didn't see anybody open up take out any loans or open up credit cards in my name. They said because I claimed for my stimulus check, I had to file a claim for my stimulus check. They said that was considered part of the tax situation, and that's why I got that message. So I was relieved to hear it. I was confused at first, but
That's weird.
I mailed out my taxes on June 15th, and hopefully the IRS sees my honesty.
They're gonna see that you're alive.
IRS, if you're listening to this, please don't laugh at my tax game, please.
But overall, we made it through the week. It is Thursday.
Yes.
It is Friday Eve.
We are live.
And we are alive.
Yes. So
Yeah, man. So, yeah, that was pretty much our week. And I guess we can jump over to the second segment of the show. What's the wave? We need a new sound for
and
What's
it's
the Wave.
great. We can see what time we're on now.
Oh, look at that. We are at 24 minutes.
And 57 seconds.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep the episodes to an hour. Oh, the song came back on.
Yeah. Maybe I should hit like the other one with like a different song, right?
Do
Like
Drive. I think Drive would be a cool song for What's the Wave.
What's the Wave?
What's the Wave is a segment in the show where I like this. Where we talk about current events, what's going on with us professionally, creatively, or anything that's going on in the news, anything we want to shed light on. The last few weeks, we kind of been talking about, what we've been up to. We kind of tackled that in the first segment as far as the photography aspect of it. But, I personally take this time to shed light on some things that I don't see in the news, but I would like people to be aware of. And then you can do your own research and come to your own conclusion of what is going on in this crazy ass world. But I usually leave that for the second part of the segment. So I let you kick it off with What's the Wave?
Gotcha.
Like
All right.
anything that's come to your attention or anything that we've been working on or are going to work on that you want to let the audience know?
Yeah. Basically, it's small little things like this. I think that we can talk about like anybody that's listening that might want to, take their podcast or their brand to the next level. I've been coming across, like, we've been podcasting for what now? 2 years?
Almost 2 years, yeah.
2
We'll make 2
years.
years in November, I think.
We started out with an experiment, you know what I'm saying? Jay and I were just like, hey, one day let's try a podcast. Let's see if anybody gravitates towards what we have to say. And, it ended up being a beautiful, beautiful outcome. And at first, we didn't know what we were doing. We knew we had good cameras. We knew the visuals were going to be nice, but our audio sucked. And like good video with horrible audio it's just a shitty situation, period.
Worst.
Yeah. So over time, I love, once I get very interested with anything, I love to do my research. And even up to this day, I'm always finding out something new. So between the Shure SM7B microphones, I love the sound quality out of these. We started out with the H6 with it, which is the sound recorder that we use for a lot of weddings. We were going into Pro Tools and stuff like that. I just felt like we had so many situations where there was like too much going on, right? Like every time we had to set up a podcast, it's like, it feels like a headache. You know what I'm saying? It just felt overwhelming between like your editing and stuff like that. So
when we first started, I used to take about 3 hours to edit a video.
exactly.
Because if you watch the first maybe 9-10 episodes, it would cut between me and you.
Exactly.
And just chopping that up between who's speaking and who's going to be present in the video was just a nightmare.
Yeah, because like
hated it.
if you guys watch the Joe Budden podcast, they have like a couple of speakers. If you guys watch the Joe Rogan podcast, both Joes, which is interesting, and they're like the top of their game. So maybe we should be like
Now we're gonna
Joe's Terrible Reception podcast, and I'll just like jump forward.
The Joe Biden podcast.
The Joe Biden podcast. He'll be like, I forgot why we're here.
Where am I?
Where am I?
The episode ends.
And that's all, folks. You've been listening to Joe Biden podcast. So, no, basically, I really
love that sound.
I know you do. You're obsessed with it. So basically, I came across this situation here, which is the Rode Procaster. It's got Apex. Apex is like a company kind of like SSL or anything else, like super quality sound that they have like really nice compressors and all these different preamps inside. And basically, Rode built this for anybody that has a podcast. So what you guys are going to listen to is basically the processing of the sound of our voices. It sounds a lot cleaner. It gets rid of the background noise. And then we put a master on it in Pro Tools. But all these little steps that we used to take where Jay's editing, going back and forth, like now it's recording right here into the Procaster, into a micro SD card. We got the levels here. Again, you guys see we can play with the sounds and add that all now. All I'm doing is bouncing the audio. I'm sending it to Jay, and we simplified, as you can see, with the camera.
Video, yeah.
One camera. Like, we're all at the same table, so even if we have a guest come here, it's all in focus. It's all in frame. People are catching it. I love it. It feels more clean.
Yeah.
We don't have cables like. Not that you guys saw it, but we had like cables running through the ground. We had to watch the computer. If like something was going wrong, I had to step off set, or Jay had to, check something. And it was just.
It happened the last episode like 4 times.
Yeah.
Trying to do something and it kept on cutting out. So now we can actually monitor how much time we're at.
Yeah.
Or what time we're at.
Yeah. Because Jay created his segments too. So it organizes the podcast. So we're going from the intro, which usually takes 5 to 10 minutes. We have like a 20-minute segment. We're like at 30 minutes right now where we can tell, hey, what's the wave? Now we're here. And then that last half an hour or 20 minutes, we could split it up. And we're not going over time. Like, we want to keep these short and sweet. We're still getting into the groove of things too, because when you're improving something, you're always going to come across technical difficulties. You're not going to know how to organize yourself. But if you're improving yourself, that's all that matters. And I feel like this is definitely an improvement. I can hear it now in my headphones. And
that's the reason we're wearing the headphones today, just to make sure the audio is good today.
Yeah.
So maybe next week we will go back to no headphones, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But I love the audio quality. I sent Jay like a test. I came, a couple people within our circle, I sent the test and like, wow, I definitely hear an audio quality difference. And once we throw it into, I made a pre-master, like a already set master. So every time I throw in our vocals, because it's set, we are who we are, it's gonna sound amazing. So that's it.
That's you, sir.
I was listening to Joe Budden podcast. I was listening to Joe Rogan podcast, and I must say I am very happy with our audio. Our audio.
Listen to Flagrant 2.
Flagrant 2? Okay.
Their setup is really on point.
Yeah. And I would say we're on par. We might not be as popular as these podcasts, but I'm listening to audio quality.
Audio quality, we're there. Video, we're definitely there. What I like about the Flagrant 2 podcast is they have 2 editors. So that's all they do throughout the week. So
that's a lot of things too. A lot of people have been investing in that. What is it called? It's by Black Magic. Black Magic came out with it, but it's basically a switcher. So people that want to do more like of a broadcast type of thing, like you guys see on Joe Rogan, they keep switching from the guest to Joe Rogan because he has a pretty large table. And then you have like a mid view sometimes because like they look at a screen sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they have somebody that I guess like they're an artist in their own, where they're like programming when somebody speaks. Like they're there tapping buttons. So by the time the video hits the laptop, it's already edited. Yeah. So like we live in great times. Like everything's accessible. It's within price range. I think you guys heard last time. This is like $600, but like you can't. $600 pays for itself. Like if you're thinking about a year of the turnaround time, and like especially if you're a podcast out there that's already established, kind of, or you have a fan base and you have a Patreon, like you're making the money back like in a week. So like don't worry about it.
Yeah, man.
It pays for itself.
But yeah. I mean, I like how it sounds so far. So
yeah,
it's good. I just hopefully in the future, when we're starting to make money off of this podcast, we can hire somebody to be behind the camera and running those switches and running those boards. So that way we can just focus on just speaking and not have to worry about checking on the time, thinking of the topics to discuss, making sure the camera's right. Is it still on?
Yeah,
it's still on.
Last year we were in my cramped room. You know what I'm saying? Now I have my own apartment. We went from strictly just podcast to podcast and radio show. And this is in 1 year. So like if you do something well, somebody's going to recognize it. And thank you again to Steven for like, seeing our potential.
Yep.
And next year, like I said, like it could be a whole nother step or another 2 years where we're in that situation where we have a whole team broadcasting the Terrible Reception podcast.
Amen.
Yeah.
Speaking into existence.
Exactly.
So, that's it.
To me, that's the wave for this week, at least. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like, again, when we were talking about positivity in the beginning, like we all know there's a bunch of crazy shit happening in general. Like I think everybody's on social media, like this should be your break from that. So this week, I want to be the cleanse to our listeners. I don't want to really like, information is everything. But I want to give them like, maybe like somebody just wanted to hear about like, okay, you know, the setup or whatever. Like I want something a little more lighthearted. If on my end, you can go in if you like.
I'm going in.
Jay's going in.
I got momentum, man. I got the momentum going. I'm going to discuss a few things that I saw on social media that hasn't really been making their rounds on the news. So I'm going to keep on going with that flow. So apologies if you don't like this segment of the show. You can fast forward maybe 10, 15 minutes and get to the gallery. But I will do this because I feel it is very important to be aware of these things. So the first one I would like to discuss is a gentleman by the name of Elijah Weatherspoon.
Okay.
Elijah Weatherspoon is an 18-year-old Puerto Rican and black male that went on a boat with 7 white friends and did not return. So a lot of people in the community are trying to get answers, and what is raising a bunch of red flags is that everybody on that boat that was there with him had a different story.
Wasn't there a similar situation with a woman that had a sleepover with her white friends? She was a black woman, and then she went to go sleep over.
I did hear something about that, actually.
There was something like similar like that, you know?
Yeah, but you know, there's people that say, here's some of the statements that some of the people say. He fell off the boat, hit his head on a rock,
and nobody tried to save him.
The next person said he fell off the boat and his friend tried to save him but couldn't. He jumped off the boat himself and refused to get back in and drowned.
Well, that's a lie.
So that's the fishy part of the whole situation, that he was apparently a very good swimmer. He's an athlete. He's only 18 years old. Went on a boat with 8 other friends, I think, 7 or 8. There was a couple articles that I read. Some said 7, some said 8, but the red flags here were that they all had conflicting stories, and it was just a little fishy situation. I mean, so people are calling for a full investigation.
It's more than fishy when you have everybody come back and the only person of color doesn't. So,
yep. So, that is Elijah Weatherspoon, if you want to look into that story. The next one is actually somebody that we knew. It's Marilady Morel.
I know
We knew her as Mari.
So unfortunate.
We met Mari on set several years ago when we were shooting were shooting a short film. We were part of a short film, so we were acting in it, and she was in my scene, and that's the first day I met her. And then I found out a couple weeks later that we ran in the same circles, had a lot of mutual friends, and throughout the years I would see her at just little get-togethers and stuff like that. And you actually hit me up because I had woken up to your text like, sorry, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then when I got online, I started looking around and I did see that, but unfortunately on 4th of July she was involved in a hit and run accident. Not an accident, but a collision, where a gentleman by the name of Declan Cott, a 22-year-old firefighter volunteer, he's said to have had several drinks. So he was arrested, and unfortunately he is out on bail at the moment.
She was walking her dog, from what I know, and then her family.
She was walking the family dog down a road, and this guy drove down the street. Apparently, the back of her head was struck by the side mirror or something like that. But the thing I don't get about this is, how is a person like this The article said something along the lines he may be charged with manslaughter because there was a mention of consumption of alcoholic beverages. And he was out on bail for $150,000. And when I was looking at some other articles, there was a comparison between him and this other gentleman who very similar situations. And the other guy had like $1 million bail. What was the difference between the two? Take a wild guess.
Yep. I already know.
Our new friend Declan Cott is a white man who has ties in the community because he is a volunteer firefighter. So,
Man.
Hopefully he, he gets put to trial and gets the punishment that he deserves. So, just wanted to say rest in peace to Madi.
Yeah, no, she was a sweetheart. It broke my heart even further to see a mutual friend of ours, Cindy. Cindy's always very sweet and kind of low key sometimes, and like just to see her, she wrote some very heartfelt words, but like it was just crazy it was eerie because I was actually coming across Madi's Instagram the night before because it was 4th of July. And I followed her because, again, we did a short film. And since then, people from Chris's Closet, they have mutual association and stuff like that. And it was just eerie to be like, wow, I had such a blast for 4th of July. I saw them by a poolside. And then you wake up next day seeing that this person passed away due to somebody's inhumane, unaware, and just
Poor judgment
of moves. And I doubt that somebody wants to be nobody wants to be in his shoes where he was drinking and then you kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's enough to deal with in itself. But again, stop the fucking car if you know that you hit somebody, and stop picking up the keys when you drink. It's 2020.
I was gonna say, take a couple steps back and don't even do that.
You know what I'm saying?
There's Ubers.
It's not that serious. It's not that serious to get home. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would pay $500 to get home safely. I would pay $1 million to get home safely rather than potentially risk my life and somebody else's life.
But you know what it is?
Most of the time is affecting somebody else's rather than yours.
I would say you have common sense. A lot of people don't.
Oh, yeah. Also experience,
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, sorry to somber the moment.
No. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's why, I've been bringing up the word humanity a lot. And I feel like we're losing touch with our humanity, our humane state of being. And I think it's important that we get in touch with that again, because a lot of this tech, a lot of the things going on in our world disattaches us from that humane part. And, the last time I really saw it is like when Kobe passed away. I saw people actually feel for that family. Like it hurt, or like Nipsey Hussle. I love people showing remorse rather than, oh, they should have died or this and that. Like some people, like, I don't know, social media is a very cruel world where just people are like disconnected. They'll say horrible things just because they don't know the person, or their Twitter fingers are stronger than, what they would say in reality. And it's just like people love to hide behind things, and I'm not with it.
I mean, there's also the sheeple, the people they call that are sheep and herded.
But I think about how
doing things just because they think that's the cool thing to do.
Think about how hurt they are that they have that type of time and energy to put into that negative state, to egg somebody on or troll somebody or aggravate somebody. And you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like, again, people take our social media world and they walk outside with it, and you feel this aggression. You feel like, oh, that person's probably a Republican. Oh, that person's probably a Democrat. Oh, that person's an All Lives Matter. That's a person's a Black Lives Matter. And no matter what context you're talking about, again, there's all this aggravation. Like the other night, there's a Trump supporter that's on my timeline, and they're saying, see, remember we talked about the Louisiana couple that were guarding their house?
Pink shirt, hot dog lady.
Yeah. They were saying, there was a larger picture of her holding the gun, and then there's a guy in the corner, a black guy, and they're saying, oh, look, it's a guy with a gun. That's why they have the reason to protect their house. And I said, hey, hold on one second. me, I'm always liking to delve a little deeper. I did my research. I enlarged the photo, right? And I noticed that it's not a gun, because you got to understand that those people are egging other people on to say, hey, look, that's the reason why they had the guns out. But I noticed it was a microphone and a monitor. So this guy had a camera with a big, like XLR, big dynamic microphone that you would use for movies or like broadcasting.
It's like a huge version of this kind of.
Yeah. And like basically that guy was just holding that up, and other people are egging people on saying, hey, look, it's a Black Lives Matter person with a gun. They had every right to protect themselves. And I was like, listen, please take it down, because look, when I zoomed in, you could tell it's an XLR mic. But people like, look at that gun. You know, he has whatever. And I'm like, no, like if you know your stuff. And they took it down and they apologized. And I was like, listen, you putting up what you put up, right, can get somebody killed in the world.
Right.
Because now they're like, oh, look, these people are dangerous or whatever. I'm saying that we got to break the cycle of like egging people on just through politics or anything else. Like people are going to get harmed because somebody else is amping somebody up with false information. And that's like, I feel like that's the times we're living in, and that shit is dangerous. So be careful what you're posting. Be careful what you're talking about. Just make sure it's true, because media and trust. We work with photos and video. We can manipulate the shit out of something.
Speaking of Trump, what do you think of Goya supporting Trump?
Listen, Goya's been around for a long time. It's Hispanic heritage, right?
Actually, hold on. Before you get into that, what do you think about, do you think politics should factor into your decision whether to support a brand or a business?
That's a tough one. I've dropped certain fashion brands in the past because of the values that they had at the time. Even if they apologize publicly, I'm like, you're a professional brand. I know being in the industry, you have so many stop points and checkpoints before something comes out. For you to act dumb, like, oh, this person just let out this piece without, you know, overthinking it, whatever. I'm like, no. Like, even if you're putting a page in Vogue magazine, it's not easily just going through until like a head director is seeing how you're piecing the magazine. Like, to me, that's all bullshit. Somebody knew what they were going to do. They knew their intentions, and they fucked up, right? On that end, I'm like, no.
Or did they fuck up?
What do you mean?
I'm the person that believes that they do it on purpose because
to get more buzz.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Any controversy is good controversy.
I'll agree with it. But like, you know, we can't live in the times of the Romans where like we're watching gladiators fight each other and like literally lose their lives just for our entertainment. We should get past that. Like there should be an evolution again of our humanity and like how we treat others. So like for me, politics, it comes and goes, right? These are short moments in our lives. The president is only here for 4 years. If that speaks,
8.
You're not like, if you're banning Goya, you're not speaking for everybody that works for Goya. There might be an employee on that line that doesn't agree with the head founder, and they're just trying to put food on the table, right? I remember I was able to afford Goya beans at my brokest level in life. I used to eat rice and beans every fucking day for weeks on end, and Goya was my savior. I'm not. If people gotta know what they're boycotting. You know what I'm saying? Because if you boycott Goya or you boycott anything else that's going to stock your shelves during a pandemic, you're cutting off your own supply. Okay? Are they going to remember that? Is that CEO always going to be part of Goya? Is all the great ideas and people that put the Goya brand together on the same page that they all love Trump? Probably not. The guy that just does it right now, it's like, that's what he said. Are you going to like kill it? Goya didn't ever put something out, I don't think, that like offended somebody like Aunt Jemima. You know what I'm saying? They're not putting out like a racially, disturbing image of like, a Hispanic man or woman. It's like Goya's always been you know, supported by his, Latins and Hispanic communities. So I just think it's a bad idea where people like, start mixing the two too much. The guy might have just been like, that's his honest opinion. Maybe you shouldn't have spoken on it just for this exact reason. But like, I don't know.
It's a gray area for me.
Okay.
Because when you go on to the values of is Goya a corporation? Say so, right?
Yeah. You don't leave your family that you said were Trump supporters just because they say they are. You don't turn your backs on them, right? If they really came to your house crying like you lost somebody in your family, you're not gonna say, "Oh, fuck you, you're a Trump supporter," right?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the values of a corporation or a business
should align.
I think it's important to me.
Yeah.
And it should be important to every individual person. It goes down to like
the way that Trump was closing borders is saying that he's going to build a wall. Never agree with that, because to me that's symbolism of stay the fuck out. Symbolism, we don't care about you. Symbolism, because that goes for all the people. It's not just the drug dealers of Mexico and the cartels and all that. You're keeping like people that are like stuck with those people in that situation. You're not looking out for, again, humanity.
Right. So what I'm saying is their core values are very important to me as a person.
Goya.
Right. Well,
Okay.
anybody in
general.
And I try to look at it from a case-to-case basis, right? So
I could see you like going into the freezer and like picking like some of those like plantains from the freezer, like crying.
Joke's on you. I haven't had Goya product in I don't know how long.
I know. I mean, if I lived with your mother and father, especially like since they're bomb ass cooks,
I
like,
haven't even used adobo. I don't even think we have adobo in the house anymore, do we? I think we do.
it's a little too
Probably hiding
salty
somewhere.
sometimes.
Way too much sodium. Stay away from adobo, guys. As Latins, we've been programmed to go straight for adobo. There's better things out there, guys.
Especially if you make it from scratch.
Whatever, it is what it is. So the core values, I think it should be on an individual basis, right? If it's your choice or your prerogative to support Goya, cool. There's been people on my timeline that were like, fuck that, I don't give a fuck, I'm still gonna do my Goya, I love my beans, I love my adobo, blah, blah, blah. Okay, do you. Then it gets to the point where it's like, you can have this conversation with people, right? If you guys don't see eye to eye, it is what it is.
I think most people would like starve or be stuck if they knew a lot of people's values.
But then you think about it, right? If you boycott, let's say everybody boycotts Goya because of statements of one particular person. Who is he? The CEO? CEO of Goya says, I love Trump. I'm bend over backwards for him. I'm this, well, you could say he's privileged, but whatever. Latin man bending over backwards for Trump. And I lost my train of thought. There it goes. It's gone.
What was it?
I just said I forgot.
Oh, I thought it was, no, I'm saying, was it the sound?
I don't know.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I got it. So the CEO of Goya says, I love Trump doing this. He's the great, fearless leader that we have in this country, blah, blah, blah. So you're going to boycott a whole corporation because of the statements of one particular person, which your intention is to affect his bottom line, which is his income, his money coming in, which failed miserably. Now they have white people buying Goya products.
I was gonna say, like, you never know who's
anyway.
working for Goya that needs to keep their good household going.
And that's exactly where I'm going. The people that get affected by it are the bottom people.
Yeah, never the top.
So the first people to go is definitely the immigrant workers down at the bottom.
Again, if you guys haven't watched it, watch Platform, and then you'll understand how you're affecting Goya.
That's a perfect example. But yeah, I would say take it on a case-to-case basis. And I guess to piggyback off of that, an update on the Redskins situation. The owner of the Redskins is getting demolished by the media. If this man does not get arrested or does not sell the team sometime in the next year, I don't know what the hell's going to happen to that franchise. This guy, those talks all week that they were going to blow up everything about him today. And so far, there's been like 15 allegations that he was running sex parties and sexually assaulting women and forcing the cheerleaders to take naked photos, taking their passports and forcing them to take photos for season ticket holders. It's a hot fucking mess.
I feel like with this whole situation, because sometimes I see the comments under him, right? They'll be like, call them like the Washington Crackers or something like that. And it's like, it's cool. Like, it's like, I get it.
Somebody said with these sex party allegations, they should call them the Washington Red Boners.
Yeah. No, but I've been seeing like certain things is like, I think about it myself, right? It's like if we want to stop prejudice, if we want to stop racism, again, we all have to do unto others as you want done to yourself. So I feel like everybody's just got to like, I don't know, do the right thing. But then like, everybody's like offending each other at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Hispanics are getting offended. Blacks are getting offended. Whites are getting offended. Some whites are feeling like ashamed to be white. I'm like, you shouldn't be about white power, but you shouldn't be like hate who you are just because you were born into it. You had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody should like, take a step back, appreciate who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? Do the right thing. But then it's like, also don't accept like some shit just because, there's a certain political or certain wave going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like respect yourself. Whether you're white, you're black, you're Hispanic, respect yourself, respect others. And, you don't have to demean yourself just to show sympathy for, another community. I think that's where a lot of people are going wrong. Like, I seen some people like, oh, I'm so ashamed of being white. Like, I'm so sorry for all the years. I'm like, listen, we don't even know if your family's fucking connected to anything that anybody did. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your choice right now is to do a better fucking job than anybody has. And that's basically what we need to do right now. So, like, stop fucking shaming yourself. Stop fucking shaming others. Fucking get with it, man. I'm ashamed that we're like fucking human beings with fucking brains and we're like, it's 2020 and this shit is going on. It's like we should have advancements far beyond our fucking comprehension.
And that's the problem. We have too much information out there is bad for anybody that can't. Well, there's information out there and there's misinformation, and then there's people using those as a tool to reel people in for monetary gain. And that's where the issue is, that's where media plays a factor.
That's why I feel like America becomes extra messy because, yes, I'm not saying like, I mean, certain things work for certain countries, right? So like socialism kind of works for Europe, right? Doesn't really work for here. But the capitalistic mindset adds so much more territory for like what you just spoke on, where Gucci knows what they're doing in America when they're marketing things because they know that buzz might gather the people that don't really care about another group of people to start supporting their brand. Mm-hmm. And if they do calculations, literally, if they're doing percentages of like, hey, we know this group of people outnumbers this group of people, and if we rile them up, they're going to start investing in our shit. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be good for the numbers. So it's a numbers game, you know that. Mm-hmm. So
I did hear Gucci isn't doing very well.
Yeah.
Gucci's not doing very well, right? Gucci's not doing very well, right? From what you told me.
I don't know. I would say they aren't doing as well as they did maybe a year.
And the thing is, too, you never know whose hands. Like Gucci might have started out with a lot of value, core value. Mm-hmm. And then some rich fuck. What was that guy that was like buying everybody out? Like he was trying to buy like he was like the modern day Joker. Like he was buying like the Wu-Tang albums.
Oh, that fucking guy. What's his name? Something Sheckler.
Okay.
His name.
So basically that, like, you never know, like...
That guy was a fucking villain.
Yeah. There might have been somebody that came across money that's like, hey, they might have infiltrated Gucci and, like, now they're a CEO. And then, like, their core values might not align with the the purity of like what was the first initial, it's like Benetton. Like that'd be crazy. Like literally the Benetton clothing brand.
Mm-hmm.
They were like three brothers from Italy. They were all about unity and happiness and positivity, especially after the Depression. They wanted to bring color into people's lives, and that was like their whole thing. It was always about like, racial unity and all that stuff. So, imagine somebody like Benetton got bought out by somebody that's like a Ku Klux Klan member, and then the whole thing switches.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you never know, and then they do some wild shit, and you're like, that's not what they stand for. It's in the wrong hands.
Yeah. Oh man. So it's a wild world out there.
It is.
But yeah, we could talk about this all day. We're at the hour mark, so I want to move on to the next segment of the show.
Alrighty.
You want to play another song?
Yeah, I can definitely play another song.
We are going into the
last segment, which is
the gallery.
Oh yeah.
Now, the gallery is the segment of the show where we shout out an artist of some kind, whether it be photography, videography, a company of some kind, anybody doing their thing right now, somebody that dropped a project, somebody that dropped a single, a piece of art, anything beautiful that we want to shout out so somebody can go check their work out. And
you know what's dope? I'm going to do this time. I'm going to do this for Dez because last time I didn't really get to play the song for you guys, but during the whole like Black Lives Matter movement and all this, like just like it wasn't even Black Lives Matter. Let me take that back, right? Basically what I know Dez's words is what a lot of black youth, black people have to go through. And he made this song called Burning Ladders.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to play a segment for you guys, just so you can feel this.
I would talk over it so it does not get flagged on YouTube.
I got you. So here we go. This is Desmond Grant. He's a good friend of ours. This is Burning Ladders. And I think that this whole vibe of this song
Start playing
should
it,
be the
keep
anthem
talking
of
over it.
2020. Here we go. So this is Burning Ladders. He owns the rights to this. He's not under a label. Here we go.
On a burning ladder to heaven, I wear my worries like clothes. Owe me melts by the second, my journey leaves me exposed. Tell them blow me, I ain't waiting on the time that niggas owe me. Skin glowing, melanin flowing. Swear they just persistently post and do it for prayer hands and fire sign emojis.
Yo, this song always
Crowds of
gives me
100 from
chills.
yes men in their circumference. Look, now waiting to hear the trumpets to fix my moral compass.
I say you
I
should've
shed
played
it
some
all,
of his
big and
new
small
stuff.
for blessings in abundance.
There we go.
These days they urging me to be consistent. But it's hard chefing angel food cake in Hell's Kitchen when all the ingredients are in hieroglyphics.
This
I'm
is,
trying to be the top rhyming, my meme's extensive. Flow momentous, boys hit they hard.
That was Burning Ladders. And now his other song, Happy is the New Rich, is out now.
I know why you still Gucci wallets and lotions. 20 years of conditions I had to cope with. Swear I'm still the same mama's boy that can spot you through
I
the
had that
noise
song
and
here.
commotion. Just a little less heartbroken and still trying to save you from this fall. Dreaming often of that late
He has a
night
lot
call.
of different dope vibes.
Claims of you overdosing. I cry so ferocious. You can feel the earth jolting from Hoboken to the feet of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And that's why I'm not as open. Way too explosive to ferocious to precocious.
See, the thing that I love about Dez is that he reminds me of Pusha T in a sense, where he's really poetic with his words. And like he has a depth. He uses a lot of great words to express himself. This song is called Reasonable Clout. It's more trap, huh?
Get on my way, get on my way, tryna be great, niggas tryna wait, now I can relate, oh no, must be a heart, gears when the world going, man, I'm like, give me my space, that money talking, tryna tell a half a billion, get on my safe,
And then shameless plug.
Shout out to Dez.
This is EWR, produced by yours truly. It's funny, I remember this. This is the beat that we were about to rap to. Jay wasn't in the zone for it though, so I passed it on. But it's great. It's great how other things come with it.
Can I use yours since you're connected to the
Yeah.
Bluetooth?
You
Look
say
something up.
goodbye in the morning. You on your grind and you glowing. Always be grinding and glowing.
Early flights from E, there you are. Wish I could teleport and be wherever you are.
I always said he has like a
For you, got
perfect
yourself to
combination of
love,
like
yeah. That's a
Pusha
philosophy
T,
I can't help but love,
P&B
yeah.
Rock,
Early flights from E, wherever you
and
are.
who's the other one? He has
Wish I could
Kendrick vibes on a couple
teleport
tracks
and
too.
be wherever you are.
I'm only giving y'all a snippet so you can get into the vibe, and then you listen to it on your own.
Be wherever you are. Be wherever you are. Be wherever you are. Be wherever you are.
Claps didn't work. There it is. Shout out to Desmond Grant, the young man out of Newark.
Yes, sir.
Super talented individual. I'm sure we've mentioned him several times on the pod.
He's just like an all-around artist. You know how like Kanye doesn't just do music. He's one of those guys. So
Yeah, man. So the artist I wanted to shout out this week is actually a cousin of a close friend of ours,
Okay.
Earl. This guy DJ'd at the wedding, and I knew he was a producer, but I didn't know he made music like this.
we got to give a shout out to also Jay himself this week because he has some crazy
What's the
songs.
next one, bro?
Oh,
Come
my
on,
bad.
man. Stepping
And
on my
it's a
toes.
mutual artist.
Stepping on my toes.
Ain't nobody stepping on your toes.
But I want to shout out the gentleman G-E-E, period. I think his last name's Saporia. But he dropped a project. It's only 6 tracks.
Okay.
Pretty dope vibes. Very different vibes from track to track. Has a lot of like old school boom bap to it. There's an Afro beat type. It's very different. So the project's called Fauna Flora. And one of my favorite tracks is called Maui.
Alrighty.
This is Maui.
Young guy from the islands like Maui. Half man, half astounding like Maui. Always on a wave on a ride like Maui. Bad bitch riding on my side like Maui. From the islands like Maui. Half man, half astounding like Maui. Always on a wave on a
That's
ride
dope,
like
I like
Maui. Bad bitch riding on my side like Maui. From the islands like Maui. Young guy from the islands like Maui.
Yeah, man. We don't want to play too much because we don't want to try to get flagged. But
No, it's all good.
is Jay himself.
Yeah.
It's the next song I was gonna play. He hit me up. I think when we recorded the podcast a couple weeks ago, and he was asking me if I had some availability to do video work, and I passed him on to you because I had a couple things going.
Yeah.
And I knew that you would kill it a lot more than I would, so I passed him on to you, and you were working on
Appreciate that.
a clip photo compilation for his new song entitled "False Children of God."
You can feel his music. You can feel his words.
Yeah, he's out of Newark too. There's a lot of talent out of Newark. But the song is called "False Children of God." Video's out on YouTube at the moment, right? YouTube? Is it on Vimeo? Just YouTube?
I believe it's on YouTube.
But the track is available on all streaming platforms, so you could go check it out. His name is J-A-E himself, Himself, and the song is called "False Children of God." And the music gods do not flag us because we're trying to help somebody out here. Very lyrical.
Yeah. I love the soulfulness of this intro.
I love the cover art. It has the hand of Trump holding the Bible.
He's nice with it, man.
Lyrically, he's really dope. Talks a lot about the Black Lives Matter.
They trying to justify injustices. Tell me where the justice is. Black gets you life. If you're white, the jury must acquit. Been the same for ages. They playing favorites and they just love placating racists when they put babies in cages, putting fathers in dirt 6 feet deep and it hurts. Then buying burgers for perps who let it ring in a church. Sent a message to God. He left it
A
there
lot
in
of
the
talent, like you
pews.
said
And what
out
the
here.
media do? Put face and name on the news. Cycled for like a month. They never let us forget him, and he was finally famous.
Yeah, man. That is Jay himself, my
Yes.
second gallery artist. So shout out to G. Shout out to Jay himself. Shout out to Dez.
Yo.
Did we shout anybody else out?
Now that I can play the music, I will probably bring back a lot of artists we mentioned in the past, just so you get like, we might hook and reel a couple listeners now that they can hear samples of their music. But yeah, that's that's
what we're here for, man. We're trying to shed light on other artists, other talented people out of Jersey or anywhere in general. Because G is from Canada. Filipino from Canada. Shout out to him. But, that wraps it up for us today. We're a little over an hour because the time is right here. Yeah. And I can look at it right now. We're at 1:10.
Which is nice.
But that's a nice sweet spot. But like I always say, go on YouTube, like, subscribe, turn on that bell notification so you can get a notification every time we drop a new video, whether it's podcast, music video. Once again, we are working on the Fallen music video. I have locked in my leading lady for my verse. So we're going to hopefully start shooting either this week coming up or the following week, depending on their availabilities. So look out for that. Sometime in the next month, hopefully we'll get the video out. Again, Apple Podcasts, leave a rating, leave a review. If you leave a 1 rating, please leave a review as to how we can be better. And Spotify, just follow us on Spotify. And if one platform is not your preference, just jump onto the other one, follow us, have some engagement on there so we can do a little ditty, you know what I'm saying?
Just tell us. That's Feldy.
So that wraps it up for us. Episode 38, Terrible Reception Radio Show /podcast.
Yes.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for riding with us this long. I hope we are not disappointing your ears, making your ears bleed. No. And if we are, please get those ears checked out. And I am one of your hosts, Jet Plane J, a.k.a. Jay Suarez, a.k.a. Joel whenever I'm in trouble.
And I am Parlay, a.k.a. Trap Jesus on Instagram, a.k.a. let's hit him with the intro and the outro.
We got to do this one.
We don't
shit, you fucked up my vibe. Hold on. Wait.
I just wanted to do that.
Wait.
Oh, here we go. You want to
bring me back to the other board.
There we go. Other board.
Okay. We're not done yet.
This has been the morning radio show with Jay and Parlay of the Terrible Reception Podcast.
We hope you have a wonderful day.
It only sounds like we could be like broadcasted in the Midwest.
If you are listening on a Monday, we hope you have a beautiful week.
Have a cup of Joe on us. You know what I'm saying?
If this is Tuesday, I hope you had a good Monday. If not, I hope your Tuesday goes better. If not, I hope your Wednesday is swell.
You can catch us on ESPN.
I hope so. But you can catch us on Power 98.5 Radio. We drop our episodes on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify on Tuesdays. And we launch our morning show on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. I am Jay Suarez.
And I'm Parlay, and sometimes sounds make your voice do different things.
That sound is so much fun.
All right, guys.
All right, let's do that one more time. Let's hit him with
the intro and the outro.
What?
All right. I'll tell you the truth.
Can you hear it?
We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5.